Alright, hi there everyone, it's Beatrice, and today I'm going to be walking you through 5 things that I wish I knew before I went to medical school. This is for all you aspiring physicians out there, as well as all you folks who are considering whether med school might be right for you. So first things first is that medical school admissions is just the beginning of the process to become an independent practicing physician. So I wish I knew this, but I did not, that getting into medical school, which is a process that we put a lot of effort, time, and energy into, is just the beginning. By and large, you can't practice as a physician with just a medical school degree. You are going to need to go through residency, which is a 2 to 5+ year process, where you're working as a junior doctor under the supervision of more senior physicians. The process to get from medical school to residency is another application that can be a pretty competitive process depending on the residency that you choose to pursue. If you are interested in becoming a subspecialist or certain kinds of specialists, you may need a fellowship as well, which is again another application process of varying degrees of competition depending on how selective or how competitive the fellowship of your choice is. Finally, you do have to land that job to become a consultant or attending, i.e., an independent practicing physician. And these jobs, again, depending on the field, depending where you want to work, can also be pretty competitive. So it very much is a marathon. Unfortunately, it's not just get into medical school and there you go, you're set for life. Second thing I wish I knew before I went to medical school: overnight call. So this is getting better over the decades, but be prepared for very long hours during your medical training and depending on the field you end up working in. It is still very common part of training to have medical students and junior doctors, those residents, work a day shift, a full proper day shift, and then go into overnight call where they still have patient responsibilities. They're still responsible for patient care. This may be home call where you're at your house and you go back and forth to the hospital, or it may be that you are in the hospital overnight responding to consults, admissions, emergencies. By and large, in many places, patient care is capped for learners at 80 hours a week. And in many places, 26 to 28 hours of continuous patient care at one point in time. So for those of you who are coming from at this from maybe some kind of scholastic program, academic program where you're doing 4 to 6 hours of classes a day, this can be a pretty stark realization when you realize that these are the hours that you'll be expected to work. And it's very important to have structures in your life, to know yourself and know how you're going to be able to pace yourself in order to be able to provide excellent patient care throughout these encounters. Furthermore, it's important to note, unlike many other medical healthcare disciplines where there's shift work perhaps, there are not usually scheduled breaks in medical practice, especially when you're on call. You're responsible for a ward, you're responsible for responding to emergencies. It's more of a situation that you eat when you can, you sleep and rest when you can. And again, being mindful of yourself, being mindful of what you need is very, very helpful in being able to pace yourself during these busier periods. Third thing that I wish I knew before going to medical school: the emotional cost. So part of medicine is that we have the privilege of seeing people all the way through the continuum of life, from birth to death, and a lot of the moments between. A lot of the people that we see are going through very difficult periods of their life. We see a lot of suffering, we see a lot of sickness, a lot of sadness, and you can't discount the impact that that's going to have on you personally. Again, it's very important, even before you go to medical school, to have structures in place, right? To have that support network, to know what you need to be resilient and successful in the face of challenges. Along those lines, the isolation is real. So as you get further and further through your medical training, you're going to realize that lay people, or people who are not in medicine, or people who are not in healthcare, not medicine necessarily, don't always have an understanding of the work that you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Additionally, because of the nature and the confidentiality that we need to have to preserve our patients' our rights and protect our patients, we can't be speaking openly about many of the things that we see. So again, having a good support system, having things in your life that make you resilient and help you cope, and ways to connect with people outside of medicine is going to be very, very important. Finally, and to end on a bit of a positive note, right? The fifth thing that I wish I knew before I went to medical school is that you're going to learn a lot and not just about medicine. So, medical training teaches you the most amazing skills, right? Where you can learn how to help someone who is sick, who is suffering, who is not feeling well, and help restore them to their previous state of health, or maybe even a better one. However, along the way as well, you're going to learn a lot about society, about humanity, about people, about how the world works, and about yourself. And it's a really amazing opportunity, a really wonderful privilege to have insight into all of these inner workings. So with that, I really hope this video was helpful for you. To see more videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks very much.